Shardia.
Hello, Serena.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I've had a productive day.
Okay.
Yeah, in the sun.
That's good, me too, actually. Do you know what? We're going to talk today about your Shades of Reality project.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. So, first of all, welcome to Smart Girls Chat. It's an honour to have you here.
It's an honour to be here.
I see that you're doing a lot of, great stuff in the community. And I just thought this would be an opportunity to showcase what you do and also spread more awareness. So what I would like to ask you first of all is what triggered you to start the project?
Well, I've always knew that I needed to be out there in like a journalistic kind of way, asking questions, talk show kind of thing. So last year, the child sex trafficking scandal that come out, was it 2019 or 20? Jeffrey Epstein, no, that was the year before. I think the whole restrictions and then the whole rioting and all these different things coming out. And I thought everything in the dark's coming to light because I study those things, and I've studied about the system, child sex trafficking, people call it conspiracy theory, if that's what you want to call it. I've done that since 1999, 2000. So when things started to come to light, I was like, oh my God, like people are finally starting to listen. So I thought now's my time to share my story because, people might
Yeah, that time
listen.
was a very triggering time because it was almost as though we all had to listen for once. We were no longer busy working, shopping, worrying about our own issues and things like that. We actually had to sit still, and whatever was presented to us, we actually had to take part in and acknowledge the George Floyd, all of the
Black Lives Matter, lockdown
itself, which therefore put, I guess, the whole world into a space of reflection. I mean, you have no choice. You had no choice. So I get that. I totally get that, because even for me personally, I was like, wow, if I didn't understand this whole child trafficking thing, and I thought it was a conspiracy theory, not that I did think that, but if I did think that, or if anyone else out there thought that, it actually became real with the whole, Trump era. So, wow.
Yeah, basically,
So that triggered you into saying, right, what am I doing, and how can I take action? Am I right by saying that?
Yeah, basically, I think a lot of victims have been suppressed, not just with the child sex trafficking in general. And I think 2020, COVID, the restrictions, everything revealed things. So I felt like it's my time, this is my time. If I don't do it now, if I don't talk about, my story and try and raise awareness for people that are silenced, just like your documentary speaks about women that don't come forward, I thought that, I won't never have this chance again. Okay. So I decided last year, I made a plan. I thought, I'm going to do I'm going to make my dreams come true, be the journalist I've always wanted to, I'm very inquisitive, ask questions. I question what I know. I like learning. And I thought, why not? Let's do this. Wow. Got a bit of money behind me.
Just thought, let me just put it
invest my money into yourself and the community, because it's into myself, but I'm helping others by helping myself at the same time. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense. And it's interesting because you do have to kind of bring a balance to the serving and self. Because sometimes you've got situations where we're just constantly giving, or you've got some people or situations where they're constantly about self, and I guess that journey can be about how to find that balance. And I'm guessing that you're the kind of person who likes to give.
And
do you know what I mean? So
a bit too much sometimes.
Well, there you go. And then it's about giving in a way that's appropriate. So I guess your project is now an opportunity for you to, funnel your desire to serve in a way that's not draining you and not exploiting the self aspect. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So what is it that, what did that situation or that quagmire, shall I say, in terms of the child trafficking, sex trafficking and things like that, what did it trigger for you? What was it that it made you surface back up for you?
My childhood, and even like going into adulthood, because it still was happening. The emotion abuse, the manipulation, the lies, just being suppressed as a child. It made me think I need to speak about that, because I know a lot of other black women like myself have gone through the same as me. So I want to be that voice for them, because a lot of people are scared because of this culture in the Caribbean community that we're not allowed to speak on certain things. We don't like shame. Just get on with it. Like we're not human, like we're robots. Like we're not allowed to speak about it. I mean, we do speak about it. You're called stupid, or why you're being silly, or you got mental health issues, or there's always an excuse behind the issues you're trying to talk about.
Do you think that the community has made us kind of reverse gender roles on an emotional level? The way that we deal with...
I do think that, but I think society as well has had an impact on the communities. Does that make sense?
So there's somebody who, turns the wheel basically, and then shakes it.
But then again, I still think we have choices.
Well,
I still think that I'm not going to use it as an excuse. There's reasons behind why we treat each other the way we do, especially in black families. But I feel like us as the community can make it better, and we can do better, as parents, as siblings, as friends, as cousins, as teachers, as it's always when something's happened, and we don't try and prevent things. We wait till something's happened or someone's breakdown for people to say, oh my God, I didn't know. You didn't know because you don't listen, you don't want to listen, and you want to dismiss things all the time and hide behind your trauma, and I think that's the problem. And it's a lot of projection, I think, going on in the community as well. So yeah.
So, what was the day that was recalled for you, when you was having to, all that was being shoved in your face, basically?
So, when I was 14, I left home. I felt like I was pushed out. I didn't exactly get kicked out. I didn't say get out of my house. But I was pushed out. I felt like I had no choice. I needed to do this for me, because of my mental health, the dynamics of the household. I just decided I'm taking matters into my own hands. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know what was going to happen. Even though I've got siblings, I knew I was going to go to somewhere, but I didn't care at that moment in time. I just wanted to be out of the house. So that's when I took charge, and I never went back since. Well, I did go back for about 3 weeks, not by choice, because something happened, but that was like when I was 18, and then I just haven't been back since.
Well, it's interesting because you say that quite fleeting. You say that, I chose to leave. I mean, as a 14-year-old, deciding to leave home.
And you think you know it or don't you?
It's not even that. It's the fact that it must have been quite serious.
Yeah, for me it was. Other people probably won't think that, but I think my siblings knew, because the day it happened, they were all there. It was New Year's Day 2000, and I think it was just New Year's Day, so the family was there. And I just felt like I just had enough, and Mum just constantly picking on me, trying to humiliating me, just not being able to have a voice. Everything I said, not everything, but if I had an opinion, or just used to blame certain things on me that weren't even my fault. Because I was the only girl in the house as well at the time, because my sister was older, she had kids, I just felt like I was the only female there alongside her. So it was like I think that was just her way of...
Do you feel like it was competitive? A competitive environment?
Not on my
No, from mum.
Sometimes, yeah. You know, when you look back though, as I got older, I realised, because I'm a woman now, and I work in mental health, and I see what family dynamics does to the patients that I work with. So I had to reflect and think, you know, I understand certain, you know, some of them. So yeah, yeah, I had to, yeah.
And then your brothers not.
And sister was there as well, because it was a New Year's Day, so everyone was there.
On that situation,
yeah.
But I mean, just generally within that dynamics of her continuously humiliating you, exploiting you when you get emotional, not taking your concerns, feelings and thoughts seriously, they kind of enabled that by not protecting you.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you, I guess.
Of course they enabled it. Whether they were aware of it or not, they still enabled it. There's 6 of us, I'm the second youngest, and I'm the only one that's big enough to stand up to what we all think, what we've all spoke about. I feel like we all talk about these things, we all agree, but when I'm the one to say something, no one defends me, or it says, yeah, well, it's true.
You're being troublesome.
We've all spoke about it, it's true. It's like they get scared after, and that's where my relationship with them growing up has just been, I'm civil with them, but I don't respect them as people at all, because you're full of shit, basically. Sorry about my language. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of talking going on in the community and no action.
Very true.
So yeah, that's, you know, families and in the community, but yeah, that was my, that was mine.
It's interesting because there's a lot of victim shaming, isn't there?
Of course, always.
And I've been looking into the thought process or the psychology of those who victim shame. And what you'll find is that when they hear about a situation where somebody's become a victim of something, it then triggers their own trauma.
Yes.
So then they start to make up excuses as to why the victim could have avoided it, and that's where the shaming comes in.
I agree.
So, for example, if a woman was raped, they would say, oh, you know, she could have dressed differently, she shouldn't have wore that skirt or that top, you know. That then presents itself as victim shaming. And I think it's important for people to understand that, because in the home dynamics where, you know, families are bullying, mothers or fathers are bullying the children, you can then kind of become abusive. Those who are watching or enablers can become abusive towards the victim by saying, oh, just ignore it, or it's because you this or you that, or blah, blah, blah.
That occurred more as I got older. It's like that's happened recently, actually. But I'm not surprised. As I said, this is a new chapter in my life, so I wanted to speak with my family about certain things and certain issues I've still got, you know, that haven't been addressed as far as I'm concerned.
And you want to bring them to
completion? I want to bring them to completion. And why you think it's, you know, there's no regards to your behaviour. And it's not the behaviour, it's not the mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone makes, you know, does things, but it's the regard for it. You don't care, you think it's okay. So how am I supposed to move on?
It's quite interesting because when you've got narcissistic parents or a narcissistic parent dynamics, the other children who are not being put in those detrimental situations, they actually become abusers as well. So
by enabling it.
That translates to them as, oh, we can do that to her or him and get away with it.
Yeah, because my mum does it. It's the power thing.
That's how you treat her. That's how
definitely
you interact with that person.
And I think that's got more as I got older. As I've got older, it's a lot of jealousy and envy, because I'm the one who said what, like, I put my words and thoughts into action, and I actually,
I'm glad you said that, actually, because a lot of the times, you know, people who have been victims of abuse, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, because they're all just as detrimental as each other.
Yeah, definitely.
You can see that you haven't lost your confidence, and I guess that's or you've probably had to work on it. But the fact that you said that with such conviction speaks volumes, and that's what puts you in a position to be able to, you know, share knowledge and do what you do now.
I think one thing, as much as the emotional abuse and all the trauma my mum, you know, put on her children, I'm not just going to say me because it's all of us, but I'm one to talk about it. One thing with me, she always, I think, this is another story, but I think because of my dad, my mum always installed in me that, you know, you're beautiful. She used to say little things like you're beautiful, and you know, people are going to be jealous of you when you're older, and people are jealous of you now, but you'll soon find out. She used to say little things to me, and you know, speak your mind, don't let anyone tell you anything. But I don't know if that was the manipulation, or I don't know if that's because just to please my dad. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if it was genuine. Yeah, yeah.
You can't really get into the mind of the narcissist. You can only kind of, you know, protect.
I think that's where the confidence still, because I've always been confident.
Yeah.
Even when I was at home, I still.
It's your instincts, and it's someone told you that it was wrong. And
yeah,
that's where
from age,
you
that's
would
where clash. Yes, yes.
Exactly.
So I've always been that child.
You left home as early as 14.
Yeah.
I mean, I can share situations like that as well.
Yeah. But I've worked on it growing up. I've got more confident as I've gone older, definitely.
Yeah, but I think it's important to see that you are in a healed position. And that will give people something to aspire to, and that will encourage them to speak out, because they can see that, you know, even yourself as a survivor of a form of abuse, you know, are still here, still standing, healthy, strong, and they can aspire to that and get that from you, or from other practitioners or other workshops, and you know, so that's what it's about, being seen as a survivor. And that's fantastic. So what does your project involve? What will they be doing, taking part in, etc.?
So Shades of Reality, it's about raising awareness within the community, especially within the Black Caribbean community, just issues we face as individuals, within the community and in society as a whole. So it could be anything. I'm just trying to bring awareness to people. I want to learn as well, because there's things I'm unaware of that affect a lot of people. Only because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be shared.
So your project's a safe space?
Yes, definitely, to talk your truth.
And they'll be doing different
and shame the devil.
They'll be doing different workshops.
Yeah, workshops, therapy sessions, forums for private chats. A lot going on. I've got a lot in the pipeline. I'm starting to work on some CBD as well. Yeah, therapy, doing therapy sessions in the rooms, massaging, just meditation, and trying to
looking after wellness,
a safe space. Yeah,
wellness projects.
Yeah.
And looking out for your mental health and well-being.
Yeah.
Making sure we're in the right environment, and looking after ourselves.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Because that's how I've overcome it as a child. Don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people, but I'm very private. I've always been in my space. I've always been in control of who's in my space. Obviously, it's been a bit when it comes to family, because, you know, society forces people to, you know, believe that family, no matter what, should be, you know, get abused by them, get raped by them. Narcissistic parents, you still have to stick by them, but you don't.
Yeah, we have got this tolerance for abuse, haven't we?
You don't, because it's your mom. You know, if you know your mum's, you know, as an adult, when you get to a certain age, and especially if you're a mother yourself, you know, you can show your parents or teach your parents the right way. Why not?
Well, there's a lot of illiteracy, isn't there? There's a lot of emotional illiteracy, you know, and also academics, and without that balance, it causes toxic behaviour.
Yeah,
it's quite important. But thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
If you would like to learn how to tell your story in a constructive, culture-changing way, contact at sereenaoutlaw.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and you are always welcome. Stay loved and stay light.